at the Frontier Hotel down on 5th Street is where I saw Nancy Wells. She was moving from room to room, month to month, like everybody else. In her room was the whole Motown Review. She kept the door open all the time, and you'd see them in there in long gowns and sequins moving in step. 3 girls. I looked closer, and 2 of them 3 girls were boys. Doing all her hit records, but I only remember the one. It didn't stop Nancy Wells from doing the one I remember. Ain't nothing you could do could make me untrue to my man. In a room on the top floor of the Welfare Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was real sick, okay? She had something bad. I was unimpressed with her tragedy. Everybody on Skid Row had one. But that was until one night, in the pitch of blackness, all alone, I heard my man come over the radio, and I heard for the first time the whole song, every nuance of promise, every strained vein and clenched fist at the largeness of the thing. And I saw the girl on tiptoes and wings on her tendon singing into time. Nothing you can do can make me untrue to my man. There were 45s all over the floor looking like giant lifesavers, and they were playing records on a folding hi-fi stereo component set, doing all the Nancy Wells songs. I only remembered the one hit, the Sensations, and all those other girl groups that nobody remembers. I think they were all the same girl group. With name changes, don't ever let them change your name. Room 1205 at the Frontier was like a jukebox, and at all hours and conditions I passed that door, I swear I saw through glass Nancy Wells spinning horizontally on a mechanical arm. Once I saw her actually up close, kinda. It was in quickie liquor. She was trying to pay for a 5th of pop-off vodka with food stamps like everybody else. What was weird was that at that very moment of her shame, when she was trying to pass the cashier the food stamps, and the cashier was saying no over the music station on the radio, was nothing you could do could make me untrue to my God. But she didn't say nothing. It was raining that day. So when she left the store glancing back to see who witnessed her shame, it looked like she was crying. She was wearing the most adorable of wigs, got her curl out of place in all that storm, and I followed her. At the corner, a middle-aged man in pink and red skin was holding up a sign that spelled Jesus, and when I got close enough to hear what all the commotion was, I was struck by the fact that Nancy Wells was wearing as much patent leather as I had ever seen in any one place. She was practically repellent. A puddle was starting to form where she stood from the runoff. Now, what brought me round was him hollering, Jesus, 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 and she was asking, but what about God? And he was saying, Jesus, Jesus, and she kept saying, but what about God? And just before the crowd started to gather, I ran over to the all-night theater from where I was standing, and underneath the marquee, I watched them, and I wondered why they were standing there arguing about Jesus and God and all that rain. It was Tuesday. Because the all-night show was half off and you get in for $1, I went on inside and forgot all about Nancy Wells and her misery. With Lon Chanine on the screen and her new action film, what I didn't understand was who styled Lon Chanine's hair and why did she get a wig like Nancy Wells? Because her extensions were way too long and nobody would believe that a black girl could really grow that much hair. After 20 minutes, I figured I hadn't gotten my dollar's worth. I was already through with Lon Chanine's new film when I realized that I preferred Nancy Wells' patent leather to that spandex bodysuit that she was doing karate all over the screen with. I went back to the Welfare Motel, finishing someone else's breakfast that morning. I accepted the partnership that we had. Nancy Wells and I gave her my change and I went to pay what rent I could. At the entrance of the hotel, she stood waiting, surrounded by her things she had been thrown out. There was the dullest noise about the place. Even as I approached, I noticed it, this lack of music. And that's when I met her eyes. The first time I actually looked in her eyes, and there was no song in them. It was Nancy Wells just standing there in the doorway of the Welfare Hotel on 5th Street in downtown Los Angeles, surrounded by her things, with no mail in her hands. Walking by her, which I did with great difficulty, handing her a little change without really looking at her, my shoes echoed on the marble lobby floor, loud, deafening, silent sound. The man behind the counter, he took my $54 and change that I had managed to panhandle on Broadway. Neither one of us looked up at Nancy Wells. Walking that long way across the lobby to the elevator, I played every other song I had in my head, trying not to hear her. Trying desperately to block out nothing you could do could make me untrue to my man. But the song I heard, the song that blotted out all memory, the song that stuck was worse. It was Old Man River. Is Eunice here? No. Oh, good. Then I don't have to read it yet. I got one just for her. It has nothing to do with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, but I just wanted to pay tribute to her. You know, did anybody ever see Imitation of Life with Lana Turner?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that was like a black spectacular. We all came home, and we all sat in front of the TV and cried. I really thought Sarah Jane was black. I did like this whole research paper and I found out that she really wasn't. I love that movie. And because of that movie, for those of you who never saw it, it was about like Lana Turner became like famous and was like precious because the black lady had a pancake recipe, and they like lived together and their daughters grew up, but the white girl, which was Sandra Dee, got to be special and date the white boys, but Sarah Jane couldn't. She was black, but she did anyway. And so I guess because I didn't want to be the pancake lady, I wanted to be Sarah Jane. When I grew up, not because her white boyfriend beat her up in the alley because she could pass for white and had fooled him and tricked him out of his affections when he wasn't supposed to hate her, but because the TV told me that she was beautiful. And I saw myself that she got to wear those tight A-line dresses like Lana Turner did and sashay. My favorite part was when she was sitting in that teacup and her legs up in the air in that fur bikini. Although I wouldn't have ran away from my mama because she was black, I still wanted to be Sarah Jane and not the pancake lady. So I wanted to be Sarah Jane and have Mahalia Jackson singing Trouble of this world at my mama's funeral while I ran crying into the camera with my long black hair cascading off my shoulders, and Lana Turner and Sandra Dee would hold me up for my close-up. Oh, Mama! And that's why I wanted to be Sarah Jane and not the pancake lady. But I wouldn't want to have to deny my mother because she was black. Because my mother was more like Sarah Jane than any of them white women who played that part. Because my mother didn't have to pass for white because she knew the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And she was beautiful. My mama was breathtakingly so. And she sure wasn't no pancake lady. But I still wanted to be Sarah Jane when I grew up. Because I wanted to be on TV, and when you grow up and you're black and you're on TV, if you look like Sarah Jane, you get the good parts if you're high yellow. But if you're black, you have to play the pancake lady.